The courtroom is hushed, the air thick with tension. A black woman in a flawless suit strides in, with the confidence of someone who knows she belongs. But a prejudiced officer, blinded by bias, stops her, ignoring her FBI badge. With a smirk, he snatches her ID, accuses her of forgery, and tries to cuff her in front of a stunned crowd. What he doesn't know is that in 7 minutes, his world will crumble under the weight of the truth she holds. This is the story of Janelle Carter, a federal agent who turned humiliation into an unforgettable reckoning. Buckle up, because what happens next will leave you speechless. It was a Wednesday morning in the courthouse in Charlotte, North Carolina. The air felt heavy, as if the marble walls held decades of unspoken injustices. Janelle Carter, 39, walked confidently into courtroom 3A. Her tailored navy suit radiated authority. In her hand was a black leather briefcase containing a USB drive loaded with evidence that could dismantle a system, recordings, testimonies, and footage exposing police corruption. That day, she wasn't just a witness. She was the spark that would ignite a hidden truth. Janelle grew up in Augusta, Georgia, where quiet strength was learned on front porches and street corners, not in classrooms. Her mother worked double shifts as a custodian, and her father vanished before she turned 10. Janelle learned to carry herself tall, even under suspicious stares. By 16, she knew the rules by heart. Keep quiet, stay sharp, always have ID ready. That resilience led her to the FBI, not through connections, but through a steely will that set her apart in a world that constantly underestimated her. But that Wednesday morning, as she approached the courthouse security checkpoint, an officer stopped her. Derek Larson, a white man in his late 40s with 22 years on the force, eyed her with disdain. Her clearly displayed FBI badge was dismissed. "That's fake," Larson growled, blocking her path. "You don't belong here." Without listening, without verifying, he grabbed her arm and twisted it behind her back. The click of handcuffs echoed through the courthouse lobby, silencing the crowd. Judges, lawyers, reporters, everyone watched. No one stepped in. Janelle, cheek pressed against a wooden railing, felt rage burn hotter than fear. She wasn't just a federal agent, she was the lead investigator on a case exposing a network of corrupt officers, including Larson. In her briefcase, now on the floor, were the very files that could ruin him. Recordings of him ordering falsified reports, intimidating witnesses, and targeting minorities. But he didn't know that. "Where'd you get this badge?" "Steal it," Larson sneered, holding her ID like it was a joke. A few officers chuckled, but the crowd didn't. The air thickened, like a storm was about to break. Kneeling, Janelle whispered, "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." He laughed, tightening the cuffs, thinking he'd silenced her. He couldn't have been more wrong. Janelle sat in a holding cell, red marks still visible on her wrists. A young officer offered water, mumbling an apology. She didn't respond. She didn't need pity, she needed clarity. What had just happened wasn't a mix-up. It was a revelation of how little the system had changed. Even with a badge, rank, and the truth, she'd been reduced to a stereotype in seconds. Outside, the courthouse buzzed. Reporters caught snippets of the incident on video. Photos spread online. The judge paused the session, but everyone knew why. The woman set to testify had been humiliated by the very man she'd come to expose. Yet Janelle returned to the courtroom. Her testimony was still scheduled. The atmosphere had shifted. Eyes followed her. Phones recorded the silence. Even the court stenographer hesitated over her keys. When Janelle took the stand, her voice cut through the quiet like a blade. "For the past 8 months, I've led a covert investigation into coordinated misconduct in the Charlotte Police Department," she began, holding up the USB drive and pointing to a projector screen. The evidence included recordings, doctored reports, and altered body cam footage, revealing a pattern of racial profiling and procedural violations. The courtroom froze. Janelle played a clip, Larson's unmistakable voice ordering another officer to fabricate charges against a young black man arrested without cause. The man's mother, seated in the gallery, wept silently. Janelle pressed on, relentless. I have 14 more recordings, all tied to arrests of black citizens under 30, all dismissed for lack of evidence. The pattern is clear, the intent undeniable. Larson, sweating, whispered frantically to his lawyer. His arrogance faded with every word Janelle spoke. When the prosecutor asked if she could name the officer who'd threatened her 3 weeks prior, she didn't hesitate. Officer Derek Larson. The judge, face taut, confirmed, the same officer involved in this morning's incident. Janelle nodded. Yes, Your Honor, which is why I request the remainder of my testimony be protected under federal privilege. I believe my safety is at risk. The judge agreed, and the courtroom's mood shifted. Larson was no longer an authority figure. He was a name in a case, a voice on tape, a badge-turned-weapon. The next day, Janelle returned to the courthouse in the same suit, same briefcase, but with a different energy. Reporters had tripled, cameras swarmed, the city was watching. Larson entered, disheveled, chewing gum to mask his nerves. His confidence was gone. Janelle, though, was ready to close the circle. The judge announced a federal motion to unseal new files. Janelle took the floor. This morning I filed an emergency motion, approved by my FBI supervisor, to unseal additional evidence and request immediate disciplinary action against Officer Derek Larson. She produced a second USB drive marked with blue tape. It held 28 minutes of audio from a confidential source under Larson's command, detailing instructions to manipulate reports, pressure junior officers, and silence civilians. Larson shouted, "That's a lie, it's a setup." But Janelle didn't flinch. "Can you explain what you meant when you said, 'I'm untouchable'? The whole system's in my pocket?" she asked. "That's your voice on the recording, isn't it, officer?" The judge allowed her to proceed. Janelle played a video of Larson in a dark parking lot, handing over a file with altered testimony, his frozen face on the screen a silent indictment. "Your Honor, we request the immediate detention of Officer Derek Larson for obstruction of justice and conspiracy to interfere with a federal investigation," Janelle stated. The judge, grim-faced, ordered, "Sheriff, take Officer Larson into custody." Incredibly, Larson muttered, "You're believing her over me." But no one defended him. Handcuffs clicked onto his wrists. The echo, a final note. Janelle stepped close enough for him to hear. "Did you really think I wouldn't have the last word?" The case didn't end with Larson. Janelle, alongside her attorney, Michelle, and a remorseful officer, Kevin Torres, exposed a corruption network stretching beyond Charlotte. They reopened a 6-year-old case about a young officer who'd tried to blow the whistle on brutality and was found dead. Officially a suicide, but inconsistencies suggested murder. That case sparked a broader inquiry, and Janelle's federal task force uncovered systemic abuses nationwide. Torres gave public testimony, inspiring reforms and whistleblower protections. Michelle became an unstoppable force in court. Larson was convicted on multiple charges, his fall a symbol that no one is above the law. Janelle earned a promotion to a senior FBI role, rewriting policies and training a new generation of agents. But she never forgot the cost: sleepless nights, threats, the stares that followed her. One afternoon in Augusta, sitting in her mother's house, Janelle touched an old photo of her father. Her mother, eyes wet, said, "He'd be proud of you." Janelle didn't reply, but for the first time in years, she took a deep breath. letting the weight lift, if only for a moment. This isn't just Janelle's story, it's a call to all of us. What would you do if the system tried to silence you? Would you speak up, even if it was messy? Would you listen to those who finally find the courage to break the silence? Justice doesn't come with applause or trophies. It comes with scars, sleepless nights, and the simple, radical act of doing what's right, over and over. Janelle showed us one voice can change everything. Now it's your turn. Share in the comments what you'd do in her shoes. What does this story mean to you? Subscribe for more stories that turn pain into purpose.